Hello folks, I hope you are doing well in this post-spooky week election season. I hope you are taking care of yourselves and being kind to yourselves. This is just a little video to kind of explain the prompt for paper 2, kind of go through what I'm thinking out loud so that you have that option. If you want to pull up the prompt and kind of read along with me, look along with me, that's probably going to be helpful. So, your second and final paper for this class will be a comparison paper. It's going to be due at 11:59 p.m. on Monday, November 23rd, which is right before Thanksgiving break. For this paper, you'll be selecting 2 texts about magic ladies, at least one of which must have been a text that we read in this course. So you can pick 2 texts from the course, or you can pick 1 text from the course and compare it with another text that you like. In this context, text, broadly speaking, can refer to novels, but also short stories, movies, TV series, web series, comics, myths, like from source text or poems. If you're not sure about whether what you want to write about will be okay, feel free to just email me. That's cool. I really want to be really open about hearing from y'all about different kinds of texts, so I'm probably going to be down for whatever you suggest. I'm calling this a comparison paper, but you could also do a compare-contrast sort of thing, or it could be straight comparison, just focusing on similarities, or you could focus primarily on contrasts or the differences. The most important thing is that you're not just giving me summary of the 2 texts. You should be making an argument, making an analytical claim about how the texts relate to one another and how they address one of the issues that we've been focusing on in our discussions about magic ladies all semester, like gender, race, class, power struggles within families, political power and influence, those kinds of things. So, when you're thinking about how to frame your paper, think about this question. What can be learned about how magic ladies can speak to issues of race, power, gender, class, family structures, political power, etc. by placing these 2 texts in conversation with each other? Your thesis statement should kind of answer this question, and the rest of your paper should be making that argument that you have laid out in that analytical claim made in your thesis, meaning supporting the answer to the question that you have laid out in your thesis. And don't worry, that question is on the prompt. You don't have to pause the video and write it down. It's on the prompt for you. So, with this paper, just like the last paper, attempting MLA formatting and citation style is required. This is English. That's what we do here. However, like with the last paper, I'm not going to require you to cite any sources beyond the 2 primary texts that you're discussing. Even if you don't have any outside sources, your paper should still have a works cited page with those 2 citations of those 2 texts. And all of the evidence and the quotes that you use in the paper should be indicated with parenthetical citations. And of course, if you do cite additional sources, those should also be listed on your works cited page. And the Purdue OWL is the style guide that I use. I think it's linked on the course page. I also linked it on the prompt. That's where I go to check to see if something is right, so that is what I recommend to you if you have questions about how to cite a movie or a short story or a poem from a collection. It's going to have that for you. Again, like with the last paper, we're going to be doing one-on-one virtual conferences the week before the paper is due. I've spread them out a little bit more this time just so that I can give y'all more of my attention and energy in each of those meetings. So it'll be, I've set aside various times, Monday to Thursday. It's the 16th through the 19th. There's a sign-up sheet on Google, or there's a sign-up Google sheet on Moodle under the Paper 2 Info tab. Plan to sign up in advance. I've got the sign-up deadline as 11:59 on Saturday the 14th, which is 2 days before. And the reason I have done that is because we had some trouble last time with the Google Sheet not saving changes that were made to it. I looked at other options, but like it was untenable. So double check that your signups have been saved. So like put your name in the sign-up sheet, leave the page, and then go back and make sure it is there. You are responsible for signing up for a conference slot and for making sure that that sign-up saved. If you have any trouble, or if none of the time slots that are available on the sheet work for you, shoot me an email. We can set something else up. That'll be fine. These conferences will all be ran through Zoom. So you can either log into Zoom in the usual way, with the video and the Wi-Fi, or you can phone in. And if you need instructions on how to do that, just let me know, and I'm happy to kind of talk you through it. It's real easy. It's just like making a phone call. You just have to enter in the meeting ID. Super easy, no trouble at all. Like last time, I'm happy to look over drafts. In whatever stage of completion, whether it's a whole draft or just a few paragraphs or whatever. I do ask if you want me to look over a draft, get it to me by that Saturday the 14th at midnight, just so that I have time to read them and get you some feedback before conferences. Papers must be submitted as a Word doc. Both drafts and the final paper. Must be submitted as a Word doc, must have your last name saved in the file name. That's so I can give you better feedback using Word's review features. The grade breakdown is going to be similar to last time, though this paper is worth a little bit more. It's 200 points, which is 20% of your final grade. In like descending order of points worth, this is all on the prompt, but just real quick. I'll be looking for a good thesis statement, evidence from your selected texts, an attempt at coherent structure and organization, correctness, by which I mean following the prompt and meeting the 1,200 word minimum, and attempting MLA formatting and citation style, and also following submission instructions, so turning it in as a Word document with your last name and the file name. It is so helpful to me that y'all do that. So please do it. So, because the heaviest ranked points item is the thesis statement, I want to talk about that specifically for just a minute. And I do have some sample thesis statements and outlines for this paper on the Moodle under Paper 2 info. Obviously, don't write any of those exact papers that I have outlined. If your topic gets pretty close, talk to me about it. But I wanted to let y'all see kind of what I'm looking for and how there can be different ways that could work. So, for this paper, I'm looking for a thesis statement that clearly outlines the argument that you're making and includes what I call a so what clause. Basically, what can be learned from the comparison that you're making? Why does it matter? And articulating exactly what the argument is and incorporating that why will really help keep your paper from just being a summary of the two texts that you're talking about. So, for example, rather than just giving a summary of how Magic Lady's powers in Circe and the Odyssey are linked to nature and animals, you would have a so what, like that in both texts, Circe exercises authority over traditionally feminine natural elements like herbs and medicines, as well as masculine elements of the natural world, like animals hunted as big game, demonstrating how in both texts her power seems to transcend traditional gender roles. Kind of acknowledging implicitly in this conversation that gender is a social construct and that hard binaries, including historical binaries, are pretty rare. So, I know, that's a lot of information to put into one sentence. If your thesis statement is 2 sentences long, that's fine. I don't care. I would rather it be 2 sentences and make sense than you have to kind of go through, like, grammatical gymnastics to cram everything into one sentence. I'm much more interested in, like, your ideas, than whether it fits perfectly into like a neat little like 3-line thesis statement. Give me 2 sentences, it's fine. So, again, this is on that sample outline, but like written out, that thesis might look like, in both the Odyssey Book X and in Madeline Miller's Circe, the figure of the goddess Circe explores and transcends traditional boundaries of gendered authority over nature in her exercises of power over both customarily feminine elements of nature, like herbs and medicines, and masculine elements of nature, like big-name animals, demonstrating the importance of breaking out of binary thinking. Then you'd go through and you talk about the traditionally feminine nature of her herbalism and the traditionally masculine nature of her authority over big game animals, and then how she transcends gendered authority, maybe by taking down Cilia the sea monster, with a combination of her powers over herbs and animals, or something like that, you know? Then, for your conclusion, just restating the thesis, and really emphasizing that so what. So, like, get your thesis statement restated, reframe it, you know, and then take a sentence or two and like really tease out some of that so what, why this matters, what we can learn about one of these broader issues by looking at these texts. Like, really do the work for your reader. Like, if there's something that like you think is immediately obvious in the takeaway from your paper, say it out loud for your reader. Just help them out. Really spell it out. Again, structurally, I'm much more concerned with your paper having some kind of like logically organized structure than with it being structured in one specific way or another. So you could talk about, in that previous example, you could like structure it by giving all of your examples from the Odyssey and then maybe from Circe. Or you could structure it how I broke it down, like in those different like elements, like the masculine and the feminine and then the non-binary, so that there's some leeway there. Generally, you're probably going to be breaking it down either by which text you're talking to or by the points of similarity or difference that you're discussing. In a 1,200 word paper, you're going to have anywhere between 4 to 6 paragraphs. 1,200 word paper is about 5 pages, not including your works cited page. So it could be more, probably wouldn't go less than 4. You want to avoid having like pages that are just big blocks of text with no paragraph breaks, right? So that's how I get that 4 to 6 paragraph number. And as always, I'm much more interested in your ideas or your analysis of the evidence than I am in everything being like exactly perfect. So we have plenty of time for this. As always in this class, I'm going to be super flexible on deadlines and stuff. I just wanted to get this final paper out of the way before y'all go home for Thanksgiving. So if anything comes up at all, if you have any questions, any concerns, feel free to shoot me an email. Just a final reminder of those deadlines. Sign up for conferences by midnight on 11/14. That's a Saturday. Conferences take place the following week. And the final paper will be due on Moodle the Monday before Thanksgiving break, 11/23 at 11:59 p.m. Plenty of time. No panicking. If anything comes up at all, shoot me an email, ask me questions. Feel free to check out those sample paper outlines that I put on Moodle for you. Yeah. And I hope y'all are taking care of yourselves and being kind to yourselves. Please take care of yourselves and be kind to yourselves first. If anything comes up, shoot me an email and we will take care of it. Okay? Okay. Take care, y'all.